Episode 1, Free Roam Primates.
Coming to you live from Unsolved Studios. It's the Unsolved FearCast. I am Ryan Williams. Across the table from me.
Oh man, Fonz Tyson. Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah.
And this is our first initial podcast for the FearCast. So it's safe to say it's probably going to be a mess.
Oh, yeah, 100%. First time doing stuff. But you know what? This is Unsolved Studios. We live, we learn, we grow. Break shit along the way. But as we continue to go on, we produce a lot of good shit. And we're both excited about this podcast. Yep, it's definitely a new one on us, but we're gonna be plowing through and making some good shit happen. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thank the listeners. Appreciate everybody watching. We definitely going to be going through a couple episodes as well as reaching out. You got a fear? Let us know. This is Unsolved FearCast. All right.
Let me go ahead and start with a disclaimer. Neither myself or my partner here are experts or psychologists or psychotherapists or psychos. Well, maybe. Who knows? But we are just speaking on our own experience, and that's why in the future we will be looking out for people for their personal experience in dealing with fear. We are not experts.
No,
So don't
not at all.
take any of this as like,
I'm a doctor. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm a doctor. No, we have no. Let's see. I even have a note for this, man. Ready? Dun, dun, dun. We are not medical doctors and we are not medical doctors and can provide no legal advice or medical support. We're just here to discuss, learn, and see the flip side of the coin for some of these fears that are going on. Yeah. All right. Well, podcast 1, Unsolved FearCast. Jumping into it once again. Welcome, listeners. Why are we doing stuff on fear? What's that we have all in common? I would say, a single fear, something that brings, anxiety, anxiousness, just sweatiness, just unresolved conflict, I guess. It's all something we can relate to. Everybody has it. And we're here to try to attempt to learn and better understand their knowledge, their fears, and just, we can throw in 2 cents and then they can throw 3 cents back. It's just what it is, and we're trying to find and dig deeper,
Absolutely. Everybody has something that they're afraid of, that they're walking around. They're dealing with that fear every day. And we're just trying to kind of get an idea of maybe where these things come from and how people deal with it, Like if you're afraid of water, how do you deal with water fountains? They're everywhere.
There's a lot of interesting and uncommon fears that people have. But also on the flip side of that, like, there's a lot of these fears that people don't talk about that a lot of people have. It's it's just something that's just not talked about. But it's always good to understand why dig deeper just for the fun of it. But as we're digging down this path of fear, what is fear? It's an unpleasant emotion. All right, this is again after 3 hours of research on the internet. So don't. Not a medical doctor, but I'm a doctor. Not a medical doctor.
But we do have access to Google, so we can look stuff up.
Unpleasant. What is fear? Unpleasant emotion by belief that something or someone is dangerous. This can be physical, emotional, or psychological. It puts into the base initiative of the core feelings of fight or flight. What do you do in a situation? Do you stand up and try to divide and conquer, or do you say, no, fuck that. I'm dipping.
I'm out of here.
Done. It brings a lot of physical reactions, including sweating, increased heart rate, People being high on adrenaline, lots of anxiety involved, trembling, people throw up, upset stomach. It's just different reactions, physical or emotional, that swing through our bodies during a fear or an anxiety-ridden moment.
I'd just like to point out that a lot of those are the same things that happen with love, and that seems a little terrifying.
All right, well, that is a whole fear and terrifying matter on its own. 100%. You've been there, you know. All right, let's see. Most deep fears happen or are triggered because of past emotional traumas or physical traumas that have brought pain to them, whether psychological or physical. And that's something that maybe there might be some things that we're born afraid of. Maybe there's things we're not born afraid of anything, right? But we just gain that fear of something for a past traumatic event. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard somewhere on the internet that babies, when they hear the sounds of snakes, will start crying. And it's, even though it's a sound they've never heard before, it instinctually makes them scared. And that might be something tethered to in our DNA, just in our makeup, of things we are naturally afraid of.
I mean, and that's kind of where they believe the fear basis came from, or how it evolved through different species. It's the deer get up to the crocodile. The one they get eaten, they're taken into the water. That's why they have the fear, or at least the preparedness as they continue onto the waters. They got to be ready for that alligator. Now, it's even if they've never seen it before, they have that instinctual fear for that. But again, what about traumas that happen to one individual, right? It's engraved into our DNA, right? So is that passed on, through different generations? Is that how it becomes a basis, versus just a traumatic emotion to something triggered that's just instinctual? Be afraid of that because of this.
And I think, that's also something through even through a form of folklore. We've all have somebody in our family where the rest of our family warned them about, hey, don't go near so and so, blah blah blah. They drink too much. They're bad. They're crazy. They're scary. Yeah. And it's we pass on those fears even orally to the next generations. Hey, you gotta be afraid of the government. They're here to take everything.
Okay, got you. Yep. What is it?
I'm not saying that's not necessarily true or true. I'm just saying it.
Be.
Saying it in a funny way to make people laugh.
What's your fear?
Unsolved FearCast.
Alright, quick shout out to Zia Strong Snack Shack. They've been popping up all over Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Make sure to check them out. They got great tacos. Yo, don't forget to check out the Homie Tragedy this December 1st at the 10th Avenue Jingle Jam. Homie's gonna be live, so check it out. Support local businesses, support local talent, y'all.
Hello, my name is Ryan Williams, and I'm one of the co-founders of Unsolved Studios. Here at Unsolved Studios, we have a lot of interesting projects coming up, and we'd like you to be a part of those projects, whether it be the Unsolved Studios FearCast or one of our crazy lucha projects. We want you to be a part of it with us. So comment, subscribe, let us know what you'd like to see. Maybe we'll do it. Who knows? Maybe it's already something we got planned. But either way, we want you involved because we care. Unsolved Studios.
God. All right. So, it's come to a point within human society, and I think it's really only human society to a point to have taken it up a notch. They not only are afraid of something, but some people tend to seek out fears, such as scary movies, high adrenaline push points of skydiving, fucking the racers going around the track 200 miles an hour, right? Or just heavy snowboarding, backcountry snowboarding and skiing. That's a lot of intense adrenaline that I would be afraid to jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
And just like parachute down, whether I know the parachute's gonna happen or not, I'm gonna have that initial fear. But I called a homie the other day. This was a while ago, actually, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's in the military, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna be going on my 20-something jump out of a plane or a helicopter or something." I was like, "Damn, dude! Like, do you get scared when you do that?" He says, "No." He says he's bored. He's bored of fucking jumping out of planes. I'm like, "What the fuck, dude? How is that possible?" Maybe he just overcame it. Maybe that's just who he is, right? He's just not afraid of that. But I don't know. That would trip me out.
There's something to be said about safely facing your fears and addressing the things that that scare you.
Right.
But also to a certain degree, where if you're chasing that high level of fear, like it seems to me like that would be a dangerous addiction to something that can really only put you in dangerous situations.
That makes sense. Yeah, 100. Yeah. I mean, yep. And that's kind of why we're here, right? Is to kind of face our fears, right? In a sense, because sometimes it's even hard just to talk about a fear, whether it's just because it brings up trauma or it's a trigger or whatever. It's just it will bring your adrenaline up just talking about it. And that's something that, you need to help use to be able to cope with the situation, is to be able to understand that you're going to be uncomfortable, understand that it's going to bring up the heart rate, but understand the situation and whatever fear situation you'd be in, it should be helping, right? I don't know. But you're in the hot seat today. So, Ryan, what is your fear?
All right, I looked this up just a second ago, so I'm probably going to butcher the name of it. But it's a form of pithecophobia, which is a fear of primates.
Okay.
Now, this came from a specific instance when I was a child, and I'm going to share this story. But I don't think it's it's so full rounded to be like I can't. We primates.
Get that.
I'm not afraid of you, but it's definitely a certain level where I don't trust them.
Okay.
And
understand that, yeah.
And I guess I'm gonna make myself sound really dumb because primates and monkeys are different, and it's a little bit of both. It's like a fear of monkeys and primates that are loose, uncaged.
Okay.
Like I get it. Maybe you got him on a leash. Make that a short leash. He's in a cage. The door's open. I'm nervous. Just
Oh, no.
now.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, well.
So
Okay,
let me take you back.
Yeah.
So, the year is 1993. A young Ryan is in Indonesia on vacation with my family, and we went to a place called Monkey Forest. And so you get in there, and it's like they worship, celebrate. It's like I think, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it's like a lot of the time it's looked upon as your ancestors or relatives that are passed on, and so they hold a certain respect for them, where it's not like, hey, shoo, get out of here. So we're walking through it. It's a really cool place, real nice. And I see people kind of throwing food to the monkeys, and they're excited about it. And
now, were you afraid of monkeys previous?
I don't necesslet's think so. I definitely think this is the turning point. And so I'm let's see, 93, 84. I am 8 years old,
Gotcha.
9 years old.
Gotcha.
I'm a little guy, and I picked up. It was a peanut shell,
Okay.
and I tossed it to one of the monkeys. and he picks it up and he like looks at it, and then he looks back at me,
Sounds
and then
dangerous.
instantly just started screaming and running at me. Now I am 9, and it never struck me once fight back. This was all flight.
You would have fucking died.
All flight.
Okay.
And I hadn't even heard any of the stories. Like
Right.
things that can go wrong in a situation like that.
Torn apart limb from limb, bro.
But I started running, just full clip running. And I'm just running around in circles. He is chasing me. A guy, probably a local, picks up an orange and hucks it and hits that monkey and knocks it over. And the monkey turns, picks up the orange, and completely goes to ignoring me. I am forever changed. I am like
that gears, and now you're.
And yeah, I'm like, get me out of here. And you know, needless to say, this is like probably day 2, day 3 into our vacation in Indonesia, an island completely inhabited with monkeys. And I'm just like, nope, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to see any of this. I don't need to be around this. I'm done. I'll hang out in the hotel room. I will
checked out. Negative.
play Game Boy
What about
for the rest of my trip.
What about the zoos?
So, like zoos, most of the time,
Do you avoid the walk around of it?
it depends because I feel that they know that I'm afraid.
They
That they
got
see me. They look at me and like I seen a gorilla puff up.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I'm like, what'd you do that to me? Why are you looking at me for? Like, I was in San Diego Zoo and it was like a gibbon or a baboon fully just was right on the cage, right in front of me, like foot and a half away, just screaming at me, and I'm just like, okay, dude, I know, I'm afraid. I don't. You win.
Now there's some fucking ginormous apes, gorillas, primates, whatever. Then there's some fucking tiny ones. Are you like, what's the size range? Like from table to here, it's getting cut off point where it's not scary.
And I can see that, you know, like me, yeah, like you know, like they got those golden tamarins. Those things are pretty cool.
Right.
But at the same time, one tried to steal my keys, and so it's like I don't know who to trust in this scenario. It's like, yeah, you might be little, but that's just off-putting to the fact that you can.
They're all just X'd off the list.
You just if we are separated,
Yeah.
then I am okay.
Gotcha.
Like if there is a layer between us, then I am okay with that. But if they have free access to me, I don't need to be there.
You're done.
I can be somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Like I maybe I should be at work that day. But it definitely is something that I'm gonna avoid.
Okay.
Like I'm probably not gonna go to a circus. I could see there being like a free roaming monkey at a circus. Are circuses still a thing? Was it 2023?
Yeah, they happen.
Or
I
still?
think maybe CGI elephants or something.
Like a zoo, you know, like yeah, they're usually pretty caged up good. Like I don't have to worry too much. I prefer probably not to go to a country where I'm gonna be approached.
Just out in the open. That'd be a bit terrifying. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking like, do I want to go someplace? Right?
And now we live in the age of like all the chimpanzee stories where they like go straight to bite fingers off and stuff. It's like, no, that's okay. Like I get it. They fight dirty.
I mean, that's all they got, man. It's just to fight dirty.
And if that's their case, that's cool. I don't need to fight with you. I don't even need to start shit. I will mind my own
Back
business.
up slowly.
Absolutely.
Leave the peanut shell on the ground.
Never a mistake I will make again.
Oh man. Well, like that's a lot of certain situations, certain scenarios that are very specific.
Yeah.
To end up with, you know, a loose monkey in the room or out in the wild. So,
Well, I know. It sounds like it's impossible.
well, I mean, it happens.
There I am. It's like
People are
I'm a
making
teenager in
monkey
Santa Fe,
commercials down the street.
hanging out on the plaza. Guy shows up with his pet monkey. I'm like, okay, I didn't think that was like legal. Like, yeah, I'd seen Friends, you know, like I seen that monkey, and like, and I'm sure, like, you know, there's a lot of coolness to it, but it's just there's a lot of distrust in me for them. I'm like,
That's
okay,
100%
yeah, I know it sounds bad,
rational,
but it just I don't see how avoiding a problem makes it a bigger problem.
Yeah,
Dealing with my
makes
fear
sense, yeah.
in that manner.
Well, and there you go. Like you have your ways to avoid it. You know, you have your plan. That's your prep period, right? You know what to do, what not to do, and when to walk away. So I've been thinking about, like, you know, at the end of with your fears, like just asking, like, well, do you feel it's a rational or irrational fear?
That's
I
yeah.
want to hear your I want to hear your phrase.
I think for most people, the worry that a loose ape monkey is going to attack them would sound irrational, but I think it also has that. What is your what is the encounter rate for your life?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, most people in the world won't encounter a monkey, right? Maybe at the zoo or whatever, okay? But like you said, there's that wall of glass, there's those bars and everything. So do people really understand the fact that they could find themselves in a situation where there's a fucking monkey on the loose in front of you? Like, I don't think a lot of people will have that concept. So I think it's a rational fear. It's just people don't know about it because fucking them's some big animals and they'll fucks you up, right?
Well, it just even reminded me of another time I was at the Oklahoma City Zoo.
Yeah.
I remember because it was like 19 degrees that day, so nobody showed up. We're the only people in the zoo. We walked by the gorilla case, and I guess the two gorillas were fighting, but they didn't appreciate me observing. And so there was like a 2-part container, and they were in one. And I remember because I pulled out my phone, and I was like, "Oh, look at it! They're like playing tag, you know, having fun." And when that thing came, like when it came around and it got right in front of the glass where I was, it just thump. And that plexiglass rattle. Like, I'm not gonna show you the video because I don't want you to hear the scream I let off. Because it was very high pitched. It showed a lot of fear.
Traumatic experience, man.
It's just
all right. I mean, okay.
It's irrational. Yes, it is. It's absolutely irrational fear.
Irrational.
But
okay, all right.
I find some rationale in it.
Okay, all right. I can see that. All right. Irrational with some rationale. Done, Judge. We need to get a gavel. We need to get a gavel in this bitch. All right. Real quick,
You've been judged, fear.
Done. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you, guys.
You're watching Unsolved FearCast. What's your fear?
Unsolved.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our very first episode of FearCast by Unsolved Studios' R.evolution I.nfamous P.roductions. Yay. Tell us what you think. Was that an irrational fear or a rational one? Let us know below up that comment section.
Send us your love, send us your hate. It's all gravy, baby. And hey, remember, we're not medical doctors. I'm a doctor, but we're not medical doctors. And if you have any better knowledge than us for any of these topics discussed today, reach out, let us know. And if you've been watching Unsolved Studios R.evolution I.nfamous Productions, you'll already know that we are a multimedia platform that's pushing out a lot of great stuff. And we're always looking for local talent in front of the camera, behind the camera, in front of a mic, off the mic, etc., etc. And we are trying to wrap up Daughter of a Gangster, Son of a Reverend. This has been a multi-year project, but we just need 2 extras to be able to finish this out so we can wrap it up and get it done. We're also looking for a female singing vocalist to be able to wrap up this bridge for this new track that's coming out by Unsolved Studios, Burgues Grub Studios. Yeah, it's going to be good. You want to look out for it. But most importantly, we are reaching out to you. What is your fear? Let us know. Hit us up. Schedule a time to be able to come into Unsolved Studios to jump into our podcast and sit in the hot seat. And remember, if you want to schedule a time for your own production, you can film here at Unsolved Studios. Let us know. Hit us up and we can schedule a time to work out some cheap prices. And if you already haven't flicked that pinche like button, then you're not supporting your local businesses. Come on. What are you doing? What are you supporting? Let's go. Until next time, Unsolved FearCast by Unsolved Studios. Next time, we'll be sitting in the hot seat. You won't want to miss it. Our names are Fonz, Tyson, Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde. Remember to look out for Unsolved FearCast.
Hi. You just finished an episode of the Unsolved Studios FearCast. Would you like to be on the FearCast? Because we'll take anybody on our show. We'd love to have you and you and you. There's nobody else here. I'm just pointing at a camera. But we would like you to come on our podcast and talk about your fears. And maybe together we can figure out a way to live with these fears in a better world.
Right into it. And you
Jumping on in.
mentioned earlier that you have a fear of being on camera.
Nope, you won't find me in the rest of them because, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't want to be like, well, I don't know. I didn't want to be found. I don't know. Didn't want to be look back and people like, oh, there he is, or that's what it, like. I don't know. I never liked it in general.
Now, is it maybe like a fear of being put on the spot or being the center of attention?
That could be it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and this is a hot seat for a reason, but you know, it's put on the spot, man. And hey, what's your fear? We want to talk to you. We want to get you on the mic. We're able to do call-ins. If you want to remain anonymous, we can do that too. Change the voice.
It's a low voice filter on you.
Sound like a Smurf or something. Who cares?
We got you. So now we are going to discuss a fear that I've had since I was a child, and it is a fear of spiders.
I think I just watched that one the other night. Yeah,
Where they're stuck in the supermarket
store and everything.
Yeah, so then when they go to the pharmacy and it's covered in webs, and then these like mean, and they were like they had mean faces. Yeah. Oh, the skull faces on these spiders. And that's like the thing is like, you know, something this tiny, you know, it's okay until it's this big or this big or this big. And then it's like, okay, now you can kill me.